It's cute.
This is Aaron. This is Aaron. Oh, he's so cute. He looks just like Isaac. Right, Papas? Look at him. Look at him, guys. Oh, he knows he's on video. Just kidding. Oh my God, his stretches are the cutest thing ever. He's sleeping. Don't bug me, huh? He's such a good boy. Such a good boy. Oh my word. I can't handle this cuteness, guys. I really can't. Can you guys handle this cuteness? Look at that. He's smiling. He's happy. Hi guys, welcome to today's video. So I'm filming on my iPhone today. I wanted to film a really exciting video because you guys have been with me throughout the whole journey of getting pregnant. And the reason I haven't been on YouTube is because I finally gave birth to my baby boy, Aaron. 2 weeks ago, a little over 2 weeks ago. I can't believe it's already been 2 weeks, but I wanted to share my experience because I did give birth alone because of the pandemic. So I got pregnant thanks to IVF, and I can't believe that the 9 months just flew by so fast. The slowest part of the pregnancy was definitely the month of May. Time was just like going by so slow. And what ended up happening was that my legs got really swollen. Like, I believe the condition is called edema, right? Edema, which is like where your body retains water. So my legs were really swollen, and I couldn't walk, I couldn't sit, because the water would just kind of like accumulate in one area. Like if I was standing for too long, my feet would look super chunky. Or if I was sitting for too long, my thighs would just engorge in water. And so I was really uncomfortable. I couldn't sleep. My belly got super huge. I gained a total of about 50 pounds in this pregnancy. My first pregnancy with Isaac, I only gained 30. So this one I gained 50 in total. And a lot of it was water weight that I lost really quickly. Like within a week, I lost about 30 pounds within like the first week after I gave birth. My doctor actually told me she wanted me to deliver at 38 weeks, but the baby just couldn't wait, and he came at 37 weeks. So I was sleeping, 2 in the morning. I'm like straddling this pillow that I have in between my legs, and I just feel it super wet, like it's soaking in water. And I take a look, oh my gosh, I think my water officially broke. The thing is that like a week before then, you know the mucus plug that covers like the cervix, that actually came out like a week before. So I already knew like I'm going to have this baby sooner than expected, because at 36 weeks is when the mucus plug came out. And then I would have like trickles of water just kind of like running down my leg like at random moments. So a week later, I wake up 2 in the morning, my pillow is drenched. I go to the bathroom and I clean myself up, clean my bed, and I lay back down, and then I start having these contractions that are starting to become painful. And they are different than the Braxton Hicks contractions because these are actually painful, and they were coming on ever so often. So I already knew, I'm like, I think this baby is gonna come. And that got me so excited. Like just the mucus plug coming out, that got me super excited, because I was like, I was so ready to have the baby by then, guys. So I tried to lay back down because it was 2 in the morning, and I didn't want to wake up my husband and Isaac, and I just didn't want to wake them up so early. And I wanted to also be at home the longest time possible before I had to be at the hospital, because who knew how long I was actually going to stay at the hospital. By 5 o'clock, I was already timing my contractions, and they were coming on every like 4 to 5 minutes, and they would last about 40 seconds long each. And then I also had blood in my underwear, which is what got me concerned, because that didn't happen to me with Isaac. So I got worried, and Jesse called the hospital, and the doctor said for me to come in And I went to my room because Isaac had been sleeping with me every single night. And I woke up Isaac and I told him that, you know, like to get ready because we have to go to the hospital because mama's gonna give birth to his brother, to your brother. And he just like got up with a quickness, and he wasn't in a really deep sleep, guys. Like, he was just so excited. He got up, brushed his teeth, got dressed. He had like his puffy eyes, and we went out the door, and we were all just like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, we're actually driving to the hospital. And by that point, I couldn't really, like, the contractions were painful, so I wanted to be at the hospital already. Like, I wanted to get this whole process started already. Anyways, I get to the hospital, and this is where I start to get really sad because I already knew that we didn't have anybody to watch Isaac. So my husband was not going to be able to be in the delivery room or even be with me at the hospital for the 2 days that I was going to be there. And so I was already kind of mentally preparing myself, and I was telling myself, like, you're strong, you got this, like, there's worse things that are happening in the world, like you giving birth alone, it's not the end of the world, it's not the biggest deal. So I was trying to get my mind in a place where I'm like, you're gonna be so proud of yourself for doing this by yourself, like giving birth alone. You're gonna be really proud of yourself. So I kept telling myself things like that because truthfully, I wanted my husband there so much. Like, the plan was for my husband to be there and for Isaac to be there, for Isaac to see his brother be born. Once they dropped me off that morning, like around 5 in the morning at Cedars, this guy came out with a wheelchair and he grabbed my overnight bag. And then I have the other box for all the things that the doctor's going to need for the bloods, for the umbilical cord and the blood tissue, the umbilical cord blood and the tissue. And Isaac says, bye, mommy, and good luck, mommy. And Jesse tells me he loves me. I say, I love you guys. And he just wheels me off into the hospital where they check me into this room where they start, you know, checking me to see if I'm actually in labor. And it was pretty intense, I have to say, because, you know, they have to check with fingers how dilated you are. And that was really uncomfortable to me. So like things just started happening that made me feel like really uncomfortable. And it's not an easy process, you know. They had to put the IV here in my hand, and the nurse missed. And I already knew that was gonna happen. I'm like, they're not gonna get it right the first time. And that's exactly what happened. I made it happen, I guess. But, you know, they put this thick needle here, like really thick needle for your IV that I had on the whole time. They put the catheter in. A lot of things are going on at that moment, guys. So yeah, they assigned me my nurse, and she takes me to the room that I'm actually gonna give birth. And I said, you know what? I was actually gonna do this the natural way. I wasn't gonna take any medication, no epidural, no nothing, but I'm gonna do the epidural. And I told the nurse that I wanted the epidural like right away. So the doctors come in and they administer the epidural, and then I stop feeling any contractions and I'm actually able to get some rest. So I laid down afterwards and I took a little nap, and then the nurse comes in. And then all of a sudden, I'm like half sleeping, and my lower half of my body's already starting to like fall. It's already sleeping, like I can't feel anything. But apparently, my baby's heartbeat was slowing down. So all of these nurses like just dramatically rush into my room, and I don't even know what's going on. They're speaking their own language that I can't understand with all of these codes and all of these things that they're saying. And I'm just like, what is going on? Because I'm like naked basically, and my butt is exposed because they had me like go like this. So my butt is exposed, my legs are exposed, like everything is exposed to a whole room of men and women who are nurses. But I'm kind of like half like dazed because of the medicine, and I'm also tired, and I was just like waking up from a little nap. And they give me this shot to balance out, I guess, the heartbeat of the baby, like to take some pressure off, because I guess the contractions were happening way too frequently, and my baby just couldn't handle them. So his heartbeat was slowing down, and it was like a code red. I don't even know if there's a code red, but it was like dramatic moment. And they finally stabilized his heartbeat. And I'm like, okay, that was pretty intense. I'm like, what happened? What's going on? Because they just like inject me with things without even, they're just telling me, we're gonna inject you with this. I'm like, what's going on, you know? But they injected me with something, and then that's what ended up happening. So everything, you know, the storm calms down. My nurse comes in like a few hours later, and she has me sit up. And when I sit up, because she's changing my sheets, because there was like all kinds of stuff right there, right? So she has me sit up, and when I sit up, like a waterfall, guys, like just whoosh, like a waterfall of water. My water broke, and it was just gushing everywhere. And then that's when it happens again. The baby's heartbeat is slowing down again dramatically, and they prepare me for a C-section, and they call my doctor, and they're like, we have to get you ready for the C-section. And I was like, what? Like, C-section? I'm like, I was not planning on having a C-section. And they get me ready, and like, again, like a whole group, like a group of people, a large group of nurses also rush into my room, and they wheel me off into the operating room. And I'm like jittery. I'm just like shaking, and I couldn't control myself because I guess the medication just really made me very, very jittery. Like, I couldn't stop. You know, like when you're really cold and you're just like shivering? I couldn't stop shivering. I felt so cold, and the shivers were so overwhelming. I could not control them at all. Like, I was just shivering the whole time. I had my eyes closed. I was already in the operating room by this point. My doctor comes in, and she's like, we could take you back because the baby's heartbeat is back to normal. But if this happens again, then, you know, the recovery of your baby won't be as successful. So, you know, it's up to you whether you want to have the C-section right now or you want to wait it out. But he's not ready to come out. Like, he was not ready to come out. If I would have waited, this baby would have been born like the next day, what I feel like, because I wasn't even dilating that quickly. It took me like 8 hours to dilate a little bit, you know? So I had to make that decision on the spot, and mind you, I'm alone while all of this is happening, you know, like, I'm making these decisions myself, and they're catching me off guard because I never thought that I would have a C-section. I thought I was going to deliver my baby naturally, and it didn't happen that way. So yeah, they got me ready for the C-section, and I'm laying there, and they put up the blue curtain in front of my face, and I don't feel anything anymore on my legs, but they took the baby out really, really fast. Like, that procedure, like when they cut me open, like, it was really fast. And then they showed me his face. That was such a beautiful moment. They showed me his face, and he was crying, and I just couldn't believe it. Like, I started crying when I saw his face. And they couldn't do skin to skin contact with me because I was shivering so much and so like dramatically that I just couldn't hold my baby. Like, I just didn't feel well at all. And so the nurse came over with the baby, and she had him already wrapped up with a little hat and just a blanket, and she put him next to my face. And I was just like, we were both just like caressing each other. Like, we were going like this, like to her, like his nose and his cheek. I was just going like that. And it felt so beautiful just to feel him and to see him. So that was like the most beautiful part of everything. It was just so wonderful to finally see him, because at the same time, like throughout this whole pregnancy, like obviously I was pregnant, but I just couldn't believe it, you know? So when they actually took the baby out, I'm like, there really was a baby in there. As crazy as that sounds, but that's what I felt. And yeah, they took the baby away. They said, do you want the baby to stay with you? And I said, I just couldn't hold the baby at that point, again, because of just the way that my body was reacting to the medication that they gave me. And also I had high blood pressure, so I just didn't feel well. And they took the baby away for a little bit, and then they took me, you know, once they stitched me up and all of that stuff, they took me to another room where I was just recovering and just coming out of the anesthesia and like all of that stuff. After that, my husband was actually able to come over around 8 p.m. And he was able to come over because his older sister, thank you to Irma, because she was able to watch Isaac overnight. And they've been following, you know, the rules of staying away from people. Like, they were really on it. So we felt comfortable to leave Isaac for a little bit. And we should have done it earlier, now that I think about it, like early in the morning, you know, or like the night before or something like that. But I also didn't want Isaac to be alone, and he never really spends the night anywhere. So I didn't want things to change so much for him already. And Jesse came over and he brought me flowers, and I was already in my room where I was just going to, you know, spend the night and recover and all of that stuff. And it was really nice to see him there. But he only stayed for about like an hour and a half. And then he left, and I stayed for another extra day. So 2 days at the hospital, which were really tough because I haven't had a baby in 9 years at this point. And I was like, I don't know how to hold a baby. And I was also starting to breastfeed exclusively, guys. So I had no idea what I was doing. Plus, guess what happened? You know, the swelling in my legs? Oh my gosh. So they had an IV on me, right? They had an IV to keep me hydrated. Oh my gosh. My legs, I'm gonna show you a picture. They, no joke, from my foot, my ankle, my thigh, my everything, my entire leg swelled up to like this big. Like, you couldn't see my bones, you couldn't see my knees, you couldn't see my bunions. Like, everything was just so engorged in water to the point that I couldn't bend my knees because I felt like they were about to explode. Like, they felt like just so tight. So I couldn't get out of bed, you know. Plus I just had a C-section, so this was painful. And I had these swollen legs that I couldn't walk. I couldn't get it like on my bed or anything. So I had to keep calling the nurse every time that the baby would wake up because I couldn't go over there and even bring him close to me. So the nurse would come in and she would give me the baby. She would change his diaper, and she would bring him to me and help me like set him up so I can start the breastfeeding. Oh my gosh, I forgot to tell you guys, he was 6 pounds, 6 ounces, and he was 19 inches long. So he was a really healthy baby, super chubby. He just looked so cute, like wrapped up and everything. And I just couldn't believe, like, wow, like after all of this time that we have been trying, like, he's finally here, like here, you know. Now at this point that I filmed this video, he's already like 2.5 weeks old, young, 2.5 weeks young. But I'm definitely gonna do another video talking about like my breastfeeding journey because it's definitely been a struggle. But if I have anything to add to this conversation, like if you have to give birth during this time, during a pandemic, and you're going to be alone, even though it wasn't the easiest thing, I definitely believe that if I could do it, you can definitely do it too. And try really hard to find someone to be there for you though. Like, sometimes for me, I felt like I was just trying to be the brave one, and I just wish I would have let my guard down just a little bit and had someone there with me, because it's really needed. You know, you need someone to advocate for you on your behalf. If you can't do it for yourself, you want somebody there to support you. Like, the support is just so important. I remember my mom was telling me when she gave birth to one of my sisters, how she was giving birth, you know, naturally without any medication. So it was really painful. And the moment that my dad came and held her hand, it gave her like this power, like this energy just transmitted, and she was able to push out my sister, like, and she was so tired at that point. So having someone there if you can really find someone to be there for you, a friend, just someone, you know, like a support partner, I highly encourage you guys to find someone so they can be there for you, because it will make all the difference. It really will make all the difference. It'll make things a lot easier. And when you're giving birth, it's such a traumatic thing that our bodies are going through, that you want to have someone there who can understand you, who can support you, and who can help you with anything that you need help with. But anyways, that's all I wanted to say, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm really excited to go on a little walk today, and I can't wait to see you guys on my next video, which is going to be all about my breastfeeding journey, what I have learned, the supplements that I take to increase my milk supply, the pump that I use, what I don't use, what I don't recommend, and all the little tips that I have been learning that I really want to share with all of my new moms to be that have been helping me out a lot, because I just want you to know that you are not alone. Like, if you feel like you're going crazy and you want to jump off a cliff, like, it's really important to reach out and get some help. So make an appointment with your doctor, a follow-up appointment after you give birth, and make sure that you get the proper help, because a happy mom is the best mom. And I just want you to know that if you are feeling like this is too much, it's overwhelming, you can't handle it, you can't do it, you want to quit, you got this. And it's going to get easier, because I feel it getting easier. And I felt like even a few days ago, I'm like, this is way too much for me, I can't handle this. And now I feel so much more different, and my emotions are just in a different place, even though I have moments of anxiety that still kick in at certain moments. But overall, like, things are just so much better, guys. So I want you to know that things will get better, and you are not alone. I'm going through it with you as well, you know? So anyways, have a blessed and beautiful day, and I can't wait to see you guys on my next one. Bye. It's so much harder.